John, Tony, everyone who is here, and we've got a higher turnout than we did last week, which is great. Thank you for having me on this call and spending time with you and your agents. Um, when I say that, I truly mean it. Yeah, I talk to Wanda about this all the time. I talk to many people when I discuss this. I think importantly, know that I came from your background, right? I was an agent. I commission only. I had to sell for years and years, to pay for my mortgage, to put food on the table, to pay for lawsuits when I broke away from IMO and started my own. It's an arduous road, but you have a lot of empathy and compassion for me. The most important people we help in this food chain, if you will, is the clients. I truly believe that. So I always attack this with a servant's heart. The second most important, and it's a close second, is the agents. It's the people who are attending this. And then I think the servants and the tertiary roles are those of the managers and the principals, and that's what makes for a good company. And I've now spoken with Global 3 different times. This being the second webinar, and I'm very proud to be spending some time with you. We covered the first webinar last week, which was recorded, and it'll be listed in your training materials, and it'll also be adhered to your LARC. And when I say LARC, that is an acronym for Life and Annuity Resource Center. It is a tool that Global has rolled out in partnership with Brokers International to really double your income over the next year. And I know that sounds a bit grandiose, right? You're going to double my income. Well, if you missed last week's presentation, please take a moment to watch it. We're building a foundation. We're building steps. And in doing this, we're going to create a situation where Global is going to provide you the tools, the systems, the training, and the resources to truly double your income over the next 12 months. But you have to learn how. You have to attend these, you have to watch these, and you have to ask questions, and you have to be willing to go out and apply what you're learning. And get this, John, right? You have to be willing to fail. You're not going to be great the very first time you do it. I coach football all the way from junior tackle through high school. And when we try something new, when we have a kid who's out of position, they might feel kind of silly. They might be afraid to fail. And the chances are the very first time or 2 times they're doing it, they're not going to be very good at it. But if they're committed to being the best football player that they can be, then they're willing to go through that. In fact, they attack it and embrace it so that they can become a better football player. And it's the same way. I've always said this, and it sounds funny, but I'm being serious. If you're on this call and you say, hey, I'm going to retire in the next 3 months or 6 months, yeah, you can probably take it or leave it. But if this is your career, if this is something that you're going to do and pursue for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, there's some younger people getting in this industry, which is great for the vibrancy and the health of the industry. Please pay close attention. You don't want to be one of those people who learn 90% of what you use in the very first 6 months and then never grew and never got better. So this is what that's all about. This is why Global has put this together. And it really helps separate Global from other Medicare-focused shops and allows you to become a magnet to really attract agents and retain agents. And I'm gonna show you how. So last week we talked about how to double your income, and it was a high-level view of how we train you with the same license, without buying any new leads, with the same people you sit in front of every day, by using a simple one-question sales system. We're going to review that a little bit today, how you can use that system to stay confident and compliant and add annuity sales and life insurance sales to what you're already doing, and in a way that doesn't take away from your core competency. All right. So our goal is to sell 1 annuity per quarter and 1 life insurance policy per month. Some of you might be exceeding that. Fantastic. Those are the type of people that on future webinars, we can have you come and present, right? Because this is just one man's experience. I've been doing this for 20 years. Similar to Tony, I am an integrity partner. I was acquired Actually, three companies that I had were acquired back in 2019. And so I was one of the early acquisitions. Then I worked directly for Integrity for a year. And now I've shifted over to the chief sales officer role at Brokers International. So we mentioned the Life and Annuity Resource Center last week. Now we're going to dive in and show you how it works. The Life and Annuity Resource Center is set up with these tiles. It is a system and it is in sequential order. So let's start with tile number one. Get your annuity badge. Well, what's an annuity badge? Does this make you part of law enforcement? Does this make you work for the CIA or FBI? No, it's an accomplishment that if you go through this training course, you're going to leave that training course, I promise you, being more confident and more compliant than you have ever been when it comes to annuities. All right. So the very first step when you get access to this, and John, I know that Global is going to be sending out this link. They're going to adhere it to their website, I believe, and make this link available following this webinar. So now here you are, agents. I showed you how to double your income. I taught you the sales system, which I'll repeat today. And now you have a step-by-step guide on how to execute that plan. But it starts just like, top, left to right, down. We want to follow these steps. And the very first step is to get your annuity badge. Now, if you click here, it's going to take you to the Annuity Training Center. All right. And the Annuity Training Center is a series of 11 videos that I recorded that were signed off by the compliance at the highest level for Integrity Marketing Group. And these 11 courses are a grand total of 88 minutes, right? Now I've got 4 kids, all of them, John, Tony, Wanda, if you know kids nowadays, they watch YouTube. My son, my second boy will he'll watch a YouTube channel for like 4 seconds, then switch to the next one, switch to the next one. So I understand getting people's attention can be a bit of a challenge right now. But 88 minutes, that's a movie. If I said, hey, I want you to watch a movie that is talking to you, that is teaching you, that will literally double your income, that will literally give you millions of dollars. And I'm not joking. Do the math. It could give you $1 million over the next 5 or 10 years. It could give you $2 million over the next 5, 10 years. And it could allow you with a servant's heart to go out and help clients with a product that they need, an education that they need. Wouldn't you want to invest that 88 minutes? And listen, it's not about me. It's not about, I want you to watch me. What I know is that over 20 years of doing this, I've become very adept at how to train this and keep it simple, but make you confident and also compliant. So you don't go to sleep at night worrying, did I do that right? Worrying, did I mislead the client? We're going to walk that clear path, walk that narrow path, and we're going to do it with grace, and we're going to do it with comfort, and it is going to reward us and pay off a dividend. So you'll see the 11 videos are right here. What is an annuity? What is a fixed index annuity? The power of indexing. And then some of these are shorter. This one's only 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. This is a very good one, elimination of market risk. I don't want to be gratuitous, but let me give you just an example. So you'll go through these videos, and here I am teaching you. And remember, this is a person who has sold, final expense, gone to trailer parks and sat down with people knee to knee and done whatever it took to help them and sell them. Because a $10,000 policy to one man, and I'm not being sexist, I'm saying to one man of one person of humankind, one woman, is the same relatively to someone for $100,000 as it is to $1 million. We've got to go out there and help everybody, and you would be shocked at who has opportunities for annuity or life. So a quick example, if we pick this up, you can hear this.
We're not getting sound there, Sean.
What's that?
We're not getting sound.
The audio can come through. Okay, I apologize. Well, I wasn't going to show too much of it, but it is very simple, straightforward talk, right? That will allow you, and thank you, John. Thank you for letting me know that these are easy to absorb and you actually can get into it and you're going to leave it with the idea that I understand this better. Now, at the end of each section, there's a quiz. Some of the quizzes are three questions, some of them are 5 questions. I think a couple of them are 2 questions. It's just to make sure you're paying attention, you understand the key elements. And there's something I do all the time. I've learned that I will repeat the key elements over and over and over again. I will brainwash you, right? I will make sure that you have your lips loaded with what is important to say. And I will make sure that you are protected from going outside the lines and saying things that you shouldn't. And that is essentially the background of our sales system right there. So you're going to go ahead and complete 11 courses, take a final exam, which is just all the quizzes. You have to score at least 70%, and you're ready to go. And then you're going to get a certificate. You're going to get a certificate that you download, and it's not recognized by FINRA. You can't take it and say, okay, now I can go write legal contracts or sell securities. But it is a sense of accomplishment. It's something that I would put on the wall to say, hey, I had someone who does have a securities license, right? I have a securities license. I have 6 different designations. I own my own RIA. And I'm telling you this, as I did in the last presentation, to give you confidence. Because when I first got in this industry, I was intimidated. I was scared to sell fixed index annuities or any annuity because I assumed there was some girl or some guy who knew more than me, who had an alphabet soup behind their name, all these titles and designations, and my annuity was silly. But as we trained last week, when it comes to annuities, there are 3 things: protection of principal, and this is all covered in the training, the upside gain potential, and the ability to create a lifetime income that no other financial product can match. And if I said that to your average 65-year-old, right? Tony would agree, John would agree, most of you would agree. Those 3 benefits. Hey, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, I have a product that protects your retirement. You'll never lose money in the market. You'll sleep well at night. It has much higher earning potential than other safe or risk-free investments. And it is an annuity, so it has mortality credits and it can create a paycheck for life, guaranteed. It's the only product that can do that. So if any of those 3 things or all of those 3 things are of value to you, then let's set an appointment next week. It's that simple. It's that simple. So step 1 on the LARC Center that Global is providing is go get your annuity badge. Dive into it, sacrifice, if you will, 88 minutes, and you're going to come out of that ripping, roaring, and ready to go. Now, the second thing that we have is the financial inventory. Okay, so you can download this financial inventory, print it out. I'm old school. I was one of the last people, John, to be still using paper apps. Right, my staff would roll their eyes like, "Come on, man, can you please use Firelight? I'll get there." But you can type this out in the forms and fields and save it digitally, or you can print it out and present it right in front of the carrier. Either way, it does not matter. But the important thing is this: as I trained you last week, and you can watch that recording, or as you will see in my training here for the annuity badge, I teach a 1-question sales system. A 1-question sales system. John, if I could, kind of role play with you a little bit.
Sure.
You're a client, you're 65, okay? And I understand there's rules about what you can present if you're doing a Part C or Med Advantage versus a supplement, but you all know how to figure that out. What I'm recommending is you must use some form of a financial inventory. Well, Global has one right here. And in that, it has a lot of questions. Now, what I've done is I've pointed this out. John, If you're 65, I'm sitting down, I'm going to present to you a Medicare supplement plan. And you've requested that I'm there. You know I'm licensed, I'm an expert on this. If I started asking you questions like, give me your name, your height, your weight, your driver's license, your social security number, your medications, you wouldn't find that odd, correct? Because that's why I'm there. I'm there to help find the best plan. Would you agree?
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. And these are very personal questions, right? Hey, Mr. Smith, what medications are you on? He's like, oh, I'm on blood thinners and Viagra, I mean, whatever. It's going to be embarrassing stuff. How much income do you have? We need to see what you qualify for. But they are answering these questions because they know that's why you're there. That's the service that you're providing. But I have seen so many poor attempts at selling annuities and or life insurance because then they shift. Now, John, I'm here as a Medicare agent. I'm there as a health agent. And then all of a sudden I switch and I say, John, do you have a 401k? How's it performed? Doesn't that make you uncomfortable, John? Aren't you kind of like pumping the brakes? Like, wait, why are you asking that? Would you agree?
Why are you asking about my money?
Yeah, exactly. And you can even sense like I know we're role playing, but it triggers a little bit of like, whoa, back off, dude. Stay in your lane, right? Now, here's the problem with that. The problem with that is I'm actually uncomfortable selling it. It took me almost 2 years to sell my first annuity, and I was very good at sales. Still am, right? We got a little bit of ego and pride when we talk about that. I was very good at sales. It took me almost 2 years to sell my first annuity. Why? Because I was intimidated. I knew that John had a gal or a guy who had all that alphabet soup, all that education, and they would laugh. They would laugh at what I was trying to present. So you know what I did? I sought massive amounts of education. I got a securities license. I started my own RIA. I got a CFP, a CIP, an RICP, a WMCP, an NSSA. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you, I attacked it. It's probably my insecurities. I hated not knowing. I was insecure. So I went out and gathered all this knowledge. And here's what I'm sharing with you. It's come full circle. When it comes to the three things, and this is covered in my training, it's covered in the previous recorded webinar. So if you need to catch up, please do. I learned that when it comes to protecting principal, having the highest gain potential of other risk-free investments. And what is that? CDs, money market accounts, putting your money under the mattress, treasury bonds. These are all things that are also guaranteed. They're not going to lose money, but FIAs don't lose money and they have the highest earning potential, right? And then finally, they can offer guaranteed lifetime income. So I learned that when it comes to those three things, I went and got all this education and it came full circle. The FIA is the superior tool. So take it from me. I'm that licensed securities agent with all that alphabet soup that would intimidate you, not me personally, but you know what I'm saying? I'm that person that we see that the client would refer to. I'm telling you, the product you have, you should have massive confidence in. So number one, now I have confidence. Number two, I'm going to change that question, John. I'm not going to ask you, do you have a 401k? How much is in it? How's it performing? And that retards you. Yeah, that detracts and makes you defensive. So rather than asking that, I ask the golden question. And this is the sales system I've created over 20 years. Here's the golden question. John, let me ask you something else. John, do you have any, I need to get a holistic idea of what you have, right? Do you have any life insurance currently, term or whole life? And you would answer that, right? You would say yes, no. You'd have no problem answering that. But then I'm going to ask this. John, do you have anything that acts like in life insurance? Like a 401k, an IRA, or an annuity, something that's going to go probate free over to your loved ones when you pass. But what I mean, John, is are you self-insured? Now, John, would you agree that that's disarming? That's less obtrusive? Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why we created it. Because I'm comfortable, you're comfortable. And this is very important, especially for people like Tony, who are going to have to deal with the legal problems if you start getting in trouble from a Department of Finance. We just kept you compliant because now you don't need a securities license to ask that question. You don't need a securities license. You just have to ask. And the reason it's the golden question, and not to repeat too much of what's in my annuity badge training, not to repeat too much of what we did last week, but this is important. You got to understand this. If John says yes, I have just created an annuity opportunity. If John says no, I have created a life insurance opportunity. Because if he says yes, I'm going to finish and conclude the business that I'm there to conduct. Trust me, Tony, yourself, any managers that you have, they don't want you to stop your Medicare presentation. In fact, in some cases, there's laws against that, and start selling an annuity. That's not how the system works. They want you to focus, stay on task, keep your calendar, keep your schedule, get your calls in, get your visits in, whatever it is, however you sell, telephonically, a need, right? However you sell, they want you to stay focused. But then at the end of that meeting, I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to say, John, when I asked you if you were self-insured, and see, that's the thing, it tickles that ego. We have the id and the ego. The ego, we want to be self-insured. See, John, I know people who are like dead broke, right? No offense. I mean, great people, dead broke. They have a duplex. They live in one side, they rent the other. And if I ask them, do you have any investment properties? Do you have any investment real estate? Well, yes, I do. They think they're Donald Trump. They think they're a real estate mogul, right? So they actually want to answer yes. It's such a 180 from asking them these blunt questions about their money. We aren't asking about their money. We're not securities advisors. We are protectors of assets, human capital and financial capital. We protect those. So this falls perfectly in line. So if he says yes, at the end of my presentation, once I've conducted that business, I'm going to come back to John. And I'm going to say, John, real quick, before I leave today, before I hang up, before I jump on my next call, you said that you were self-insured. You had $250,000 in an IRA. Let me ask you one last question, John. Is that money protected? And if I've done a good job of staying professional, but not becoming his best friend, leading, guiding, directing, building some rapport, he's going to give me an honest answer. And the honest answer is it's intentionally a bit ambiguous. And he's going to say, I don't know. What do you mean, John? Well, we use something called an FIA, or a fixed index annuity. It's one of the fastest growing tools for retirees because it protects your principal, so you won't lose money in the market. It has the highest earning potential of any other safe investment, John. What I mean by that is you can put your money in CD, money market, treasury bonds, and you're not going to lose money, but your gains are capped. An FIA has a really high gain potential. And then finally, it is an annuity. It's a more contemporary annuity. It's not your granddad's annuity, but it is an annuity and it has mortality credits. So it's the only product out there in the world that can give you guaranteed income for life. So John, if any of those three things or all of them are of interest to you, what I suggest is we set aside another meeting next week, same time, and I'll run you through some options that are best fit for you. So again, I'm kind of truncating that, but you get the idea. So we learn the sales system. We get confident and compliant with the annuity badge. We then download the financial inventory. And in downloading the financial inventory, you're going to see that we have the golden question inside this financial inventory. It's right in this section here. So it reminds you to ask the golden question. Now, what do you do next? See, do you have to open up your laptop, make yourself late for the next appointment, figure out which carrier you're going to use? There's only like 65,000 of them now, right? Figure out if you're contracted. Do you remember your login? Which product am I going to select? How am I going to run the illustrations? You know why most agents don't write annuities? Because that seems very daunting. Global with this sales system has eliminated that. Eliminated it. You stay on task. All you have to do is ask that golden question. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Ask a Specialist. You see how this is in order? You're going to go to the Ask a Specialist. Now, here it is. This is a secured SSL 128-bit encrypted form that end-to-end is encrypted. And whether you said, if they said yes and you've got an annuity opportunity, or they said no and you've got a life opportunity, you're just going to fill out the information as best you can. You're going to attach any files. See, as you get good at this, you might take a picture with your cell phone. You can ask permission. Do I have permission to take a picture of your statement? And I'm going to send it securely to an internal team that we have. See, don't put everything on your shoulders. This isn't your expertise. It doesn't have to be. We have a centralized team that Global has put together using the power of Brokers International. People with securities license, people with certifications, people who do this all the time. And they can put together the best plan by taking a look at the situation. Then you just simply acknowledge that, hey, we will not sell your information, but we're going to release it to another one of our partners, which is essentially the same group. It's We're All Integrity Marketing, and hit submit. Now, here's what's going to happen. Within 48 business hours, and it's usually closer, we're getting them turned around about 12 hours right now. They're going to send you back an illustration, the best fit carrier, the best fit product, a narration on how to approach this, why it's the best fit for that client, a couple videos that show you how to use it, and then their phone number and email. So if you have questions, you ask. And as I always tell people, and I tell you in the annuity training badge, I told you on last week's webinar, don't be afraid to fail, right? Adversity is the best teacher. Go out there and do your best and be honest with the client. Say, hey, listen, I'm licensed to sell these, but I rely on our central team. So if there's any questions I can't answer, I'm going to get the answer from them. I just want to make sure you have all your questions answered. Fair enough. And the client will say yes. They'll be excited about it. So think about that. You didn't have to waste time. We removed all the intimidation of knowing which product, which carrier, am I contracted? What's the login? How do I run the illustration? So how do I present this? Right? And I understand I get big when I explain that, but it's important because the sales system is so beautiful, right? You're one of, I think, what, 8 groups total out of 200 integrity partners who are using this system. Global has gone through it with a fine-tooth comb to make sure it fits their agent base and is deployed the way they want it. You've now got the support. So get your compliance and confidence with your annuity badge. Download the financial inventory. Learn how to ask the golden question every single time. And then submit everything to Ask a Specialist. Now, I want to show you one other thing here. You'll see this order custom brochures. This is a wonderful tool. It's a quad fold, and I'll show it to you right here. It's a quad fold that is completely customized and branded for you. So you can put your face, your contact information, your logo on here, right? You just simply fill all this stuff out. Now you can just download it, show it to clients on your iPad, print it out and show it to them, right? Here's the 7 benefits of FIAs for retirement. Or you can continue, and it's going to make me fill this out, and you can have them 4-color glossy printed and dropped on your doorstep. So now here's another thing, another valuable tool in doing this. Let's say I just sat down with John. I went through my financial inventory. I asked the golden question. He said, yes, I'm self-insured. I got a $250,000 IRA. And I asked that segue question, what are you doing to protect that money? See, we protect them using an FIA. It does 3 things better than any other financial product. And as you see, I'm repeating myself, so we learn the right things. It protects your money, so you'll never lose money and never lose sleep again. Lots of, war in the Middle East, war in Europe. When's the next pandemic going to come? When's the tsunami going to take out California? When's the next terrorist strike going to be? 5-10 years ago, we might have thought, that's just a bunch of gobbledygook. That is the real world that we're living in. And think about it. If you're 65 and you're no longer putting money in, you're having to take money out, this stuff stresses you out. So alleviate their stress. Alleviate their stress. And I say, if these things are of interest to you, I'm going to sit down with you 1 week from now. And I'll show you what our we have a core team that specializes in this. They're going to look at your scenario. They're going to securely evaluate it, and they're going to send back everything we need to know, and then I'll present it to you. Okay. In the meantime, and this is optional, but what I love to do is I love to show people that I have some expertise, that there's something behind me. I'm not just some independent agent who is slinging Medicare, and now all of a sudden I'm trying to pitch you an annuity. I'm going to give you this, and it's branded in your name. It makes you like an instant expert, right? John, grew up in Seattle, but I lived in San Francisco during the dot-com boom in the late 90s. And we were working with groups. If you had a good website, you were getting funding from venture capitalist groups. That's how silly it was, right? Well, it's kind of the same thing. This is me. I'm buttoned up. I'm an expert. What they don't know is this might be your first annuity sale ever. It doesn't matter. You've got a team that's going to make sure you're on track. And there's one last thing that makes that important. You're compliant with the best interest rule. See, 45 of the 50 states, with 4 more of them pending, and then New York, always being an odd state, already has a best interest rule or a similar rule. What it states is that you must provide documentation on why you chose this product and why it's the best for them. See, the team that Global and brokers have put together who receive these Ask a Specialist are going to be documenting that. So if you ever, and listen, it's a matter of time. If you're in this business for 10 years, there's going to be one person who they love you. They give you coffee. They give you cookies. They show you the pictures of all the grandkids on the wall. You help sell them an FIA, but then something hits them. Financial hardship, job loss, right? A pension that didn't pay out, whatever it might be. Now they'll turn on you. Okay. You can't ever trust someone too much. You can love them, but you can't ever trust them too much. This is your life and your family's well-being on the line. So protect yourself. And every time you use the Ask a Specialist, it's now encrypted and archived and backed up on the cloud, redundantly backed up. So if the Department of Insurance came through 3 years later and said, you didn't explain everything to this client, you didn't do what's in their best interest, sorry, we have everything documented here with all these experts who recommended it. And then the client was explained everything and signed the documents. I started Family First Life in 2014. I built this system from the ground up, and I've had no fewer than 3 instances where a Department of Insurance has come in and saying, hey, the client says they were misled. I show them the history, case closed. Case closed. So don't be scared of that, but just know by using this, you're also covering that off. Now, submit your application, right? You can log in to do your e-app. You can upload a paper application if you want. That is going to be explained to you when you have an Ask a Specialist. And then finally, and we're going to do a webinar on this eventually, a little bit down the road. We have also been able to provide, so Global is creating this system, bringing the system to you to create free leads. Free leads in one of 2 ways. Digital leads through the proprietary and exclusive insurance drip software, totally paid for by Global. Okay, so they're going to have marketing boosts. You don't see them right here because we haven't launched any marketing boosts, but these are marketing boosts like add 15% to your retirement. Create a lifetime paycheck. I'm just giving you high-level ideas of these well-done, beautifully, visibly appealing, aesthetically appealing marketing boosts that you simply click on it. Then you click sync with your Gmail, sync with your Yahoo, sync with AOL. I think there's 4 people out there, John, who still have AOL, right? And or iCloud, or upload a CSV. You can take your entire customer list and it's going to send them out emails. It's going to post it to Facebook. It's going to post it to LinkedIn. It's going to post it to X, formerly known as Twitter, right? How cool is that? Free leads by using compliant marketing material right there. And then the other one coming soon, we're going to be able to have you load up your list from your, so you can go to Aetna or Cigna, and I'm not real good on my Medicare carriers, but you can download their contact list, upload it here, and it's going to securely send them a letter that has your name, your face, and explains the benefits of a fixed index annuity for their retirement. And for pennies on the dollar, you can create leads here because you do have to pay for postage. All right. So when I say free leads, it's free based on the fact that you didn't have to buy a lead. These are your own clients. And it's always relative. John, there's agents that have been this for a couple of years. They might have 100 clients. Great. 100 clients, if we get a 2, 3, 4% return on this, you just made $50,000 in annuity sales, right? If you are been this for 8 or 9 years and you have 1,000 clients, you're going to see even better results because it's from someone they know and someone they trust. Now, finally, you're going to see the videos that we've been recording, and Wanda's going to work with you on putting the videos that we're recording. These are generic videos right here. They're great videos, but all this stuff is covered in my annuity training. It's covered in this video series, right? But they're going to put the videos here. So if you get an agent who's brand new, they don't have to wait till the next time myself or Wanda present this material. They can just click on it, watch the training, and they're getting up to speed right there. And why is that valuable? And oh, by the way, we have Tom Hegna, world-renowned author, TV host, economist, and retirement specialist. Tom is a good friend of mine, and he recorded a series of what we call closing clips. They are overcoming objections. You can actually take these and send them to your clients directly and say, well, if you don't believe me, watch this retirement expert. And he is awesome. He's a mentor of mine. He does such a fantastic job. All these tools provided free because of what Global is doing and bringing for you, right? And it's a great recruiting tool. It's a fantastic recruiting tool because, hey, Tony, don't get upset if I say this, but MedSup, that whole world can be a bit ubiquitous. It's hard to separate ourselves. It usually takes someone who they see a hardworking leader. They see extra angles here or there on how you can help give them an edge. But imagine the power of recruiting you would have if you were able to say, hey, we can provide all the Medicare support you need, all the training you need. We have great comp. We have all those things. But we also have the ability for you to double your income because we are experts in getting you to seamlessly, with confidence and compliance, write annuities and life insurance. Okay. So in the next weeks, we're going to start diving into the life insurance side of it. And then we're going to wrap this series up. But I want to now stop. I'll leave my screen shared. Okay, John. But I want to open it up for questions. I want to make sure we're done at the top of the hour, if not sooner. I respect the 46 participants who are on. And by the way, fantastic turnout. Tony, John, fantastic turnout. And everybody has stayed on. So I can go through the Q&A, or John, if you want to pick out some questions for me to answer, feel free, however you want to pursue that.
Sure.
Hey, Sean, before you get started, I just want to say you're doing an incredible job, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just blown away. I took already a couple pages of notes, and you've elevated our game already. Just what I heard today, it's unbelievable what you're doing. I'm just so excited about this new platform and having you lead the way and help our teams get to the next level. Because ultimately, we're here to help the clients. But also, this is going to be able to help many of our team members really take their income levels to another whole nother level in terms of revenue for them and their families. So I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I love working with another integrity partner, and this is the strength of that. So yeah, absolutely. So go ahead.
So I see a couple of questions out there. One, the annuity badge. One of the questions, is there the ability to get CE credits with that course?
Currently, no, but it is something I'm working on. Yeah, so they don't. I wish it did. It currently isn't. There's a submission process with that, and I have brokers processing that. Now, keep in mind, I'm a startup guy. Tony, I'm like you. You know what I mean? Like I started a company, I sold. Like you just fight forward. Hopefully, you don't make too much of a mess behind you, right? and do it with love.
I'm a bull in a china shop, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So brokers is a little slower. Wanda, don't tell me I said that. So I don't know when that will happen, but we are working on it. It's a fantastic question.
Another question is around the questionnaire, and I guess it's tied to broaching these topics of annuities during a Medicare consultation. So the question is, ultimately, does the scope of appointment allow you to ask these financial questions?
Excellent question. I'm not qualified to answer the finite response on that. Here's what I'm telling you. You need to ask questions to understand what is the best Medicare or Med Advantage product to put them in. Everyone would agree with that. And I think Med Advantage is more restrictive, and I'm going to let John, Tony, I'm going to let you all comment, or anyone who's very knowledgeable in that after I say this. But even if it's a little bit more flexible, I've had many groups that say, Sean, you're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to ask them if they're self-insured, and you're allowed to say, you know what, I can't talk about this right now, but let's meet next week and I can show you how we can protect your retirement. Here's a flyer, but we can't do this right now. Right? And then there's some that say, no. You have to not talk about stuff. Well, you can still log the question away. Right? It's just like logging away their driver's license or logging away their height and weight. You're logging away. Do you have anything that acts like life insurance? Something that's going to go probate free over to your loved ones when you die, like an IRA, a 401k, or an annuity? If they say yes, great. At the end of open enrollment, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a list of them. I mean, that'll almost be exciting. Take your week off, take your not little vacation. I didn't mean that demeaning. I'm saying go take that little vacation and then get on the phone and say, hey, Cindy, when we spoke, you said that you had something that act like life insurance. I really want to sit down with you and talk to you about how we can protect that using an FIA. What time is best for you next Thursday? Morning, afternoon, or evening? Right, boom, just like that. And I can help you with scripts, things like that. So Tony, would you agree that's correct, depending on which product it is or how you want to circumvent the legal aspects of it? You could either bring it up right there or you could bring it up later.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great.
Well, I think everybody on this call that is proficient in the Medicare world understands the 48-hour rule, but it's good to probe and needs analysis and ask those questions.
Yeah. And if I can just add, the distinction here is the scope of appointment is defining what products you can discuss during that Medicare consultation.
Yes.
It's not preventing you from asking questions. You can ask questions about their financial status and so forth and so on, but you can't, in a Medicare consultation, you can't now pivot and start talking about an annuity. That's where you have to kind of set that aside as a separate consultation. But Sean made a great point. It allows you to create yourself a lead to another conversation. So you can ask questions.
Yeah. So John, along with that point, that's why we have in part of our selling process, the platform, after you sell yourself and educate the client, and then you have to do your needs analysis. That's so important as Sean and you just share it. It creates other leads. But what it also does, it solidifies your first enrollment with that client. So once you've gotten your Medicare Sup, Medicare Advantage, ancillary, you've done all their health based on the scope of appointment. When you come back in 2 days later, it just solidified your first sale, and now you're getting multiple sales out of that household. As we've always talked, the magic of cross-selling goes back to 1921 with State Farm. If you look at their logo, they were teaching that back then. The more policies, more products, financial products, health products you have in that household, the longer they're going to stay with you. And any other agent that comes behind you, it's going to be almost impossible for them to flip your book.
That's a great point. A great point. I will give you credit, but I'm stealing that because you're absolutely right. And I didn't think about it from that standpoint. We always want to make as much, we want to help the client as much as possible, because what's the hardest thing in this world when it comes to our sales? Getting in front of someone. The hardest thing is getting someone to listen to you. Now we can help them out, right? So you're absolutely right. And if we present it later, if we do it the right way, it allows us to not only add more protection, add more service to them, but solidify the sale that we are there, so they become more loyal and less likely to lose them.
Yes.
John, you want me to knock out a couple of these? I can see the questions right here. Where can you find last week's training? I believe you all have a portal, but we will also, and Wanda will work with you on this. If you upload these recordings as an unlisted YouTube link, that's what we always did. We will put them. So you see where I have these trainings, we will replace these trainings with your specific trainings. And that's where they'll be. Anything that I'm missing on that?
Yeah, Sean, we already post that. Yet last week's Michael Kappa takes care of that for us.
Okay,
And
great.
we're making it into an additional YouTube, because we have our own YouTube platform that has additional trainings there as well. But you guys can go into Mike, John, why don't you share how they can do that real quick, how they can go and pull up last week's.
Sure. So on the global website, if you go to globalpremierbenefits.com, you want to make sure you're logged in, so you have to have a login. If you go to the events tab, you'll see another link under that, another menu drops down, and you'll see weekly webinars. On there is a link to the live sessions, but also below that, you'll see an archive of all of the weekly meetings that we had. So this is updated, by Mike. I'm checking now to see if he's added. And it looks like he's a little behind. So, but it will be added to the Global Premier Benefits website on that page. That's where you'll find it.
And then you all will, after they log in, you'll have a link to where they can access this LARC also. Has that been put up yet? I know we just launched it.
Yeah, correct. So I think last week
Okay.
was the session. So and Mike's on vacation, so he hasn't had a chance to put the last week session up yet. But this is where they will find it.
Okay, excellent. Brian Lewis had a question, and this is a great question. Does the Ask a Specialist, so when you submit something to Ask Specialist, are they taking into account what you're already contracted with? Yes and no. And here's what I mean, Brian. They can recognize who you're contracted with. What they're going to do is the best product for that client. So you can defend it. So no one's going to come behind you and say, oh, they sold you that because they had the highest comp, or they sold you that because they wanted to qualify for a vacation. No, we adhere to the best interest rule. Global is committed to making sure that the best interest rule is followed and the best product we have is sent over to them. So Brian, one of two things is going to happen. You might already be contracted with that carrier. Great. They're going to recognize that and they're going to say that in their response. Hey, Brian, good news is we chose Global Atlantic. I'm just picking that. And you're already contracted. Here's your contracting number if you need it. Here's a link to Firelight. Submit it here. Here's a little video on how to submit things to Firelight. And here's a couple things you need to make sure to tell the client. Like, boom. And there's a phone number and an email. So if you have any confusion, you can respond. Or let's say they tell you it's Athene out of West Des Moines. Athene's got the best product for their situation. We notice you're not contracted. Fill out this contracting. And here's the cool thing about it. Almost every annuity carrier allows you to do what's called just-in-time contracting. So you can actually submit the contract and the application at the same time and not lose a beat. So hopefully that answers your question, Brian. And then James, are you contracted through the global platform? I don't know if I understand it. Am I contracted? Are you saying, am I part of the Ask a Specialist? I help oversee it. I'm the chief sales officer, and I've helped set up this whole system with global, with brokers. But I maybe clarify that a little bit more, James, if I'm not answering that correctly. Okay, any other questions that I missed, y'all? We have about 6 minutes to the end of the hour. Or anything that you want to close with, Tony?
I think you're doing excellent. Any final tips for the team because there's, like you said earlier, about the newbies that are on the call to this annuity in life world? I mean, we have some of the best Medicare people in the country, Sean. Just said we got some killers on the call. But I always believe, and you can touch on this, you got to do the thing that you fear. You just got to just do it. You can't just learn this on a seminar or in a webinar. I think that's good to get started, get kind of your a nice little foundation for yourself. But you do this business by doing this business. You got to just go out and do it. Because fear, most people have that. It's just false evidence appearing real. We've all heard that before. But can you touch base on that for those new people on this call? Why it's so important to overcome that fear? Because to me, you're doing by that fear, you're not only doing a disservice to yourself, but you're doing a disservice to your client that you may have a product for them that can put them in a better financial and personal situation. Can you touch that before we close?
I can. You almost couldn't have set it up more perfect. And I couldn't agree with you more. If you want to be successful in this industry, you have to ask yourself, who is the most important person in this process? For many agents, it's them. And I've been there before, Tony. I've been there where I'm the most important person. Not my family who I'm trying to feed, not my 4 kids and my wife, not the client that I'm servicing, right? So I would pick and choose based on my comfort level, based on my mood, based on if the Seahawks won or lost. I would pick and choose who I would ask and who I wouldn't. I grew up with a single mom in the city, and I do great relating to women. Okay, that was and that's not in a weird way. I'm saying that's what I was comfortable with, and I felt like I wanted to protect them and help them. So I really would dive deep and explain it. But you take that 60, 65-year-old cantankerous old codger, that guy who, when you walk in the door, how much does it cost, right? I was always intimidated by it. And if I put myself first, I don't want that discomfort. I don't want that discomfort. So I wouldn't ask the questions. Tony's right. You've got to be uncomfortable to grow. If this is your career, like I said in the beginning, if you're going to be retired in 3 months, don't worry about it. You can just hang up right now. And I don't mean that as a jerk. I'm saying don't worry about it. But if this is your career for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, then you commit yourself to asking the golden question every single time. You're not the most important person. Don't be selfish. Put the client first. Put your family first. And you will see that with a servant's heart, you don't care. Because here's one of my rules. Don't ever chase it, and don't ever get emotionally attached. I have an analogy, all right? If I go to the high school dance, not me as a 50-year-old, if I'm in high school and I go to the high school dance, and I want to dance with that person, I have 2 ways of doing it. I can overthink it. I can come up to that girl or that guy and say, hey, do you like the punch? What do you think of the music? I like your dress, or I like your bow tie. Well, I've wasted a lot of time and a lot of emotion. And I don't know if they're going to dance or not. Remove that emotion. Have trust and belief. Stay in the box. And I teach this in my annuity badge. Stay in the box and never be afraid of failure. Because if you do it with a servant's heart, if you don't embellish what these are, they are valuable enough. Life insurance is valuable enough. And we're going to get into that training here, I think, in 2 weeks, where I start talking about the value of life insurance. Now you're loaded for bear and you're ready to go. But they are valuable enough. So I'm at that high school dance. I'm going to go up and I'm going to say, hey, Becky, do you want to dance? No. Okay. Tom, do you want to dance? No. Susan, do you want to dance? No. Jenny, you want to dance? Yes. I'm dancing, right? It's a numbers game. Don't get yourself emotionally involved. Have confidence what you're doing, present it every time, and make the most important person them. Because oftentimes, and Tony, you would agree, we have similar backgrounds. We've sold, we know it. The person has the biggest defense is because they're hurting the most. It's because they need the most help. So ask the golden question every single time and never be afraid to fail. That would be my closing comments, Tony.
Awesome, man. I think you're one of the best speakers we've had all year, Sean. Awesome.
I appreciate that.
And
I'm flattered.
We've had some players on our calls, dude. You were by far one of the best.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I look forward to continuing to work with you all. We got about 4 or 5 more, I think, and we're going to knock this out to be recorded. And then I'm always available. Tony, you call me if you need anything, okay?
Great. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, brother, so much. So, guys, John, I'm going to turn it over to you, bro.
Okay, I do see there's one other question here.
Yeah.
For the Ask a Specialist, when they're recommending a carrier, do they look at hierarchy for the agent as well?
Yeah, and that's something Wanda can answer better. They do look at all of that, right? And make sure that everybody's contracted and it's in accordance, because that's in the setup. Yeah. So the answer is yes. I can't give you the micro details.
Got it. Fair enough. I think that addressed them all. Thank you again. Phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate you. Take care. Talk to you next week.
So before we hang up, John, I just want to remind people tomorrow we still have our mastermind meeting at 9 a.m. And don't forget, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, we have a special presentation for you guys. This is something that Coach Burt has been wanting to do along with Chase Gruding. We're going to have how to build an empire. So whether you're an agent or a GA, MGA, SGA, FMO, IMO that's on this call, we're having a special, a free webinar tomorrow night at 8 p.m. It's going to be about an hour, and it's going to be some incredible stuff that Coach Michael Burt's going to share. Chase Gruding, I'm going to be saying a few words of what it takes to get to that next level. So make sure you guys mark your calendar for that tomorrow night. We should have already sent everybody a link. If you didn't get the link, hit me the text. I'll make sure I send that registration to you. It's a simple Zoom registration. We'd love to have all you guys there. Invite anybody you want to. Invite your spouse, invite your kids. I invited my kids too, because the more I can get my kids to learn, I mean, everything that Coach Burt teaches, not just about insurance, but it's about living a better life and having all we want out of the careers that we're in and the professions that we're in. And then don't forget, John, you're conducting the Thursday tech call, and we have this amazing opportunity with Diane Falagowski. She's got a all new revolutionary AI platform she's going to be sharing. John, can you touch on that real quick? What's going to happen on Thursday at 9 a.m.?
Absolutely. So there's an opportunity on Thursday to be participate in a beta rollout of a AI platform specifically geared towards the health insurance industry, both on the ACA and Medicare level. So it's an opportunity to really plug into a platform that allows you to take the powers of AI that are pretty broad, pretty general, but really focus in on the Medicare, well, the health insurance industry, so that you have a platform that you can pivot to. If I'm talking to a customer that lives in, Harris County, Texas, that has diabetes, what are some options available to that customer? And having a tool that you can just plug those questions in, and it gives recommendations to you. So we're going to have a demo on that on Thursday.
John, I'm really excited about that. To me, I've been dreaming about this for some time. I think the future is AI. To me, this is going to completely revolutionize our business. And the more that we can get ahead of this than other people in the game, because what I see a lot of people do, that they go after the tech stuff after everybody else has done it. We're going to be ahead of this game, especially for our business being highly regulated and having an AI robot help us, navigate, the maze of Medicare, help our clients navigate that. And this tool that's been created is not only going to just help you with Medicare, it's going to help you with ancillaries, any product that we have in our platform. It's just going to be an amazing opportunity. It's going to be unreal. I can't wait. So make sure you guys are there for that. They're going to give a quick demo. And if you're interested in participating in this platform, let me know. There's no charge to any guys. None of this stuff with Sean and Diane and any of our stuff that we're putting out there is going to cost you guys a dime. It's here to help you guys learn, especially tomorrow night with Coach Burt. I mean, that guy charges, $20,000, just for people to speak, upwards to $100,000 if it's a large event. He's offering about an hour of his time for free to us and our organization. Make sure you guys are on that. So I'm excited about tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday morning. It's going to be an incredible 2 days in terms of getting us to the next level. John, thank you for covering for Michael. Great job. Can you all give John a hand? Always comes when we need him. He's like Superman. Get you a Superman shirt, John.
No worries, no worries.
Get you a cape too. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. Thank you.